Hello Standard 9. Today we are going to continue with the chapter that is the Reformation. Okay, this chapter already started and yesterday we understood the meaning of Reformation means it was a religious movement of the 16th century launched by the Christians against the various drawbacks of the church and the objectionable practices of the clergymen. So this was completed yesterday. Today we'll be doing causes of the Reformation. First cause only we are going to study, and in this we have so many factors. Dissatisfaction with the practices of Catholic Church. Okay, dissatisfaction with the practices of Catholic Church. As it was already taught to you that the movement created a split in the Christians church between those who continue to remain loyal to the Pope at Rome and those who broke away from the church at Rome. So, those who continue to remain loyal to the Pope at Rome, they were known as Roman Catholics. And those who broke, they were known as Protestants. So, here we are going to study what were the economic factors which were responsible for the dissatisfaction with the practices of Catholic Church. Why they were dissatisfied, why they were unhappy with the practices of the Catholic Church. The first is Tatya. Okay, now what is this? Church had vast properties and which gave ample income to the church. Okay, it had vast property which gave sufficient income to the church. But beside this, 1/10 of the income of person was given to the church. And this was called tat. It was called tat. Okay, where 1/10 of the income of a person was given to the church. Then the another is Peter Pence. Here, in addition to this, clergy collected called another sum called it is called as Peter Pence from the people. Then Pope Leo X he wanted to build St. Peter Church. So he issued a pardon certificate. Now, what is this pardon certificate? This pardon certificate was called Indulgences. It was called Indulgences to those who gave money to build church. This pardon certificate was given to those people who gave money to build church. Which church? St. Peter Church. Now, indulgence. What is this indulgences? Indulgences were letters which remitted punishment of the sinners who bought them both in this life and after their death. So here, normally the priest imposed penance or punishment on a person who had sinned and he was required to perform a special service or make a pilgrimage to holy places. All this was done by the priest only. But you see, the new system started indulgence. Now they could be free from doing penance, keep doing the penance, any punishment they can choose for their sin by buying a letter of indulgence. Means they were free to choose any penance for their sin by buying a letter of indulgences. Finally, we also see simony. Okay, we also see another thing, simony. Okay, what is this simony? The church offices were given to the highest bidder. The church bidder means auctioneers. And this practice, whoever will give the highest bidder, okay, he will be given the church offices. And this came to be known as simony. Okay, the next corruption which we can see in the church which make people dissatisfied that in the beginning the clergy led an exemplary life. Okay, exemplary life means they were the example for the other people. They were respected. They were honored in their in the society and commanded great respect in the society. But as the time passed, moral decay and the some areas in the functioning of the church. Okay, there was a moral decay crept into some areas in the functioning of the church. So some of the clergymen they lacked proper education. Some lived luxury and neglected their religious duties. So this made the people unhappy. The priest promised salvation in exchange for fees. Means for everything they started taking money. The priest became very powerful. He promised salvation in exchange for fees. They could pronounce a marriage lawful or unlawful. Then, in fact, there were fees for every transaction in life, from birth to death, fees for peace of the soul and fees for soul of people dead long ago. These practices were severely criticized and opposed by the people. So here Aramus, he exposed them in his book named Prayer of Folly and prepared the ground for the Reformation. So corruption in the church also we see where the clergy people were living a exemplary life in the beginning. Church they were living a moral life. Now you would see that there was a moral decay in the functioning of the church. Clergymen they lacked proper education. Some of them they lived luxury and neglected religious duties. The priest promised salvation in exchange of fees. He pronounced marriage lawful or unlawful. There were fees for every transaction in life for birth or to death, fees for the peace of the soul and fees for the soul of people dead long ago. So for everything they started collecting money. So this was criticized by the people. It was opposed by the people. And Aramis, he exposed this in his book Prayer of Folly, and this prepared a ground for the Reformation movement. So I hope you understood these two causes. Please prepare. In the next class, I'll explain some more. Thank you.